We've been waiting all day for Sunday night. It's round number 4 of SVT Renegade Gen 6 action, and we're at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas, the second straight intermediate race of the season. Well, we've begun the calendar year with 3 different races and 3 different winners. Johnny Hurst took the opening race at Daytona. Round number 2 was won by Chris Justice. He took that at Dover. And then last week, we saw a shocking win by the driver of the number 69 in Johnny Ledford getting the job done. We'll see what happens. We could have our 4th different winner of this season. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you could join us here on Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you as we get set to go for racing action at Kansas Speedway. Let's break down the point standings for you. Coming on in. Now, we do have a situation where everyone has 2 dropped races that they can use. Here are how the points look coming on in, and bear with us as we just inserted them in. So, like I said, 3 different winners: Johnny Hurst, Michael Casey, and Jeffrey Ledford. That is your top 3 in the standings. 4th in points currently. That is the driver of, as we'll pop these up here on your screen, 4th in points, Chris Justice, Mark Morton, and Chris Ramsey. Paul Helms, Jimmy Pilan, and Dalton Steele each with 34 points. Richard Hartman rounds out the top 10. He has 33 on the season. Qualifying 90 seconds away from being concluded here. Let's show you one of the drivers that's on track. That's Dalton Steele, who is in car number 45. Steele still looking for that first win of the season. He's come so close many times this year. As he comes to the line, does he improve on his lap 2 time? He does. He goes second quick at a 30.23. Chris Justice just set a quick time on lap number 2, 31.5 for him. Mark Morton with 45 seconds left to go here in qualifying is working on his lap. So he comes to the stripe for the checkers. Could be a better lap. We'll just wait and see. It is. He goes 11th quickest, 30.43. A good car count with us, though, here this evening. A total of 24 with us. Last week, our highest car count of the season. Well over 30 drivers were with us. Now we have over 20 drivers, a 24-driver car count. We should be in for a fun one this evening. Well, everyone's hit the checkered flag. We are ready to go racing. Let's meet the field and give you your starting lineup for tonight's event. On the pole position is Chris Justice in the number 25. Justice's pole time, a 31.53. Next to him, it's the 47 of Cheeseburger, Michael Lawrence. Row number 2, Dalton Steele in the 45. Next to him, Johnny Hurst in the 58. Row 3, Michael Casey in the 6, Henrik Baldwin in the number 19. And row number 4, James Wagner in the 30, and Robert Lynch Jr. in the 21. Rounding out the top 10 this evening is Richard Hartman. He is in car number 52 next to Jeff Scott in the 38. Row 6, Mark Morton in the 48 next to Matthew Worrell in the number 79. Row 7, Bradley Worley in car number 88 next to Jimmy Pilan, who is in car number 29. And in row number 8, Paul Helms in the 64 next to Dom Salvo in the number 24. Here's the final third of cars. This is how they look. Greg Jolly on the inside of row number 9 next to him, the ace in Matt Barker. Rounding out your top 20 this evening, Brianna Lauren in car number 7 and Joseph Causey in the number 60. Row 11, Michael Taylor, who is in the number 35. Next to him, Chris Ramsey in the 4. Rounding out the field on the grid is Tom Sisko in the number 9 and Chad Hawkins in the 84. Under the lights here at Kansas Speedway as we get set to go racing. Here is our race format for tonight. 100 laps this evening, set for 150 miles. 1 pit stop expected. That is at around lap 65 at the latest. All the drivers have 5 sets of tires, but look at that quick repair very closely. Big change. Last week, 3 quick repairs the drivers had, but in hopes to keep the racing a little bit cleaner and to make sure they stay a little bit, don't get as aggressive as they were early last week at Auto Club. They've decided to go from 3 quick repairs to one quick repair. The field makes their way onto the racetrack. All 24 drivers have made their way onto the racetrack as we get set to go racing. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. And of course, if you have seen the chat, we actually have live timing available that you are able to use. So make sure you check that out to get a better idea of where your favorite driver is running and how he is doing. Check that out there on the YouTube chat below. Round number 4 of the 2023 season, the first season for SVT Gen 6 Renegade competition. Will we see our 4th different winner of the season? Well, we are moments away from finding out. Pace car is in. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Justin's and Lawrence, bring us to green. It's showtime in Kansas City. Saw a good start come from Justice in that number 25. Lawrence lost 2 spots off the drop of the green. Fall all the way down to 4th. Here's a run by Dalton Steele as he tries to take the race lead away. On board with Steele, and you see he taps the wall. Was leading with 2 to go last week at Auto Club Speedway. Unfortunately lost at the end to Jeffrey Ledford in at the number 69. And so he scraped the wall, gave Casey the chance to move up to second at the number 6. Now we got one off track. It's Dom Salvo in the 24. Able to keep his car straight, no caution as we stay under the green flag. On board with Rick Baldwin, the number 19, who is currently your quickest driver on track with a 35-2. That huge toe off the 45 is a challenge for the lead as he rode on board with them. Michael Casey throws the slide job, and Casey takes the number 6 out to the point here at Kansas Speedway. Our first lead change of the evening. Casey's picked up that win at Dover Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago. Had to hold off Dalton Steele, Chris Justice, and Mark Morton to do it. That, of course, was a big win for the driver, the number 6, to put him tied for first. You see Baldwin loose off of turn 4. He scraped the wall just barely, just gave it a love tap, but able to keep his foot on the throttle. That's the big key with this high downforce package. You do not want to let your foot off the gas. If you do, you're going to lose a ton of power, likely in a tough spot. As we know, it's very tough to pass with this package. It all relies on aerodynamics as Baldwin makes his way up to the 2 spot. Baldwin didn't race with us last week, but in the hunt in points as we're nearly 3 wide off the corner. Now you start to see Baldwin blink a little bit. Chris Justice and Dalton still door to door for 3rd spot. Baldwin up in that 2nd spot. Oh, it steals the wall once again, and Lawrence has to check up. And Steele is sideways. He makes a great save. Still sideways off of turn 4. Have to look at that 45 very closely as he falls all the way down to the 7th spot to see if there is some aero damage. Remember, only one quick repair the drivers have here tonight. Didn't look like there was too much off the number 45, but other than that, I think he's good to go. And now he starts to challenge Lawrence for that 6th spot. 79 car, Matthew Worrell, and actually has the number 8 car. up in the 5th position. Started back in 12th. Gotta hopefully find a way for World to get that car fixed. You see, the car got a little bit squirrely. Off of turn 2, was able to hang on to it, and now a race breaks out for the 3rd spot. James Wagner may get around the number 25. Over though, Justice cuts off the air. Got another driver as well loose. That was the 58 of Johnny Hurst. He's able to save it. Hurst, your winner at Daytona this season. Helps him out when it comes to his points tally. And all 3 winners tied the points lead as we have the drop. The worst finish was not, the 2 worst finishes were not counted. So everyone that has a win, that's the highest tally they have in points right now. And you saw Worrell lose once again. Lawrence come back down a bit, and he's up top 3 wide. And you see the 29 of Jimmy Pilen take advantage of it. Because of how much bank there is to try over, you can cut the dog leg and get a lot of grip. So because of that, Pilen now your biggest mover, starting from 14th. He currently runs in the 7th position. It's currently Matthew Casey out in front. Him and Rick Baldwin started from row number 3 as Casey started from 5th. As he commands the troops at bay with 10 laps plus. Kansas Speedway has been well known for being a very fun racetrack. With the high downforce package, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But Kansas Speedway has been known for races in the high downforce package. We saw late race battles. I think it was 2020 in the playoffs when Logano and Harvey were able to win. However, there are a lot of fans that like their, gotta use the brakes, more horsepower. They were not too pleased of it because Logano won the race just by shutting the door on. As Wagner shut the door on Dalton Steele, who's trying to rebound and try and make his way back up to the 4th position. Baldwin in the wall on the number 19. That costs him a bunch of spots. Justice makes his way back up to the 2nd position. Wagner now breaks in the 3rd. Not in a good point spot coming on in as he has not had some good finishes. Last week, the number 30 of James Wagner finished, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to find him on here. He finished in 17th last week. DNF'd on lap number 92. Now currently starts he's had to a race since Daytona a couple weeks ago. First yellow is out, and I think is it for Brad Worley in the number 88 it is. So Worley brings out caution flag number 1 of the day, and you see heavy front end damage to the Hoosier native. An idea to show you what happened here with the real ride. There was contact by the 84 Chad Hawkins. That was the race for 18th spot. You see there was already front end damage. I'm not too sure what for. May have been from the contact with Dom Salvo earlier on. But you see Worley just go for a spin. Nice job to keep it out of any further harm. It's right on board with him. Definitely shows you how close he got. Nearly got to hitting that wall. First caution waves here at Kansas Speedway. Michael Casey brings everybody onto pit road except for the 45 of Dalton Steele. So Steele becomes our 3rd different leader of the race. Hello, the Roughnecks Racing Squad rooting for their team. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. As everyone is on pit road, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw drivers take 2 tires here just because we were 16 laps into that run. and the full run goes 65. Everyone going for 4 tires, which makes things interesting. Will track position be better than tires? That's what this package has been known for in the past. As you see, Chris Justice win the race off pit road over Michael Casey, James Wagner, Jimmy Pilot, and Mark Morton. Top 7 drivers stayed out. Dalton Steele, your race leader. We'll come back in just a moment. Stay with us on Slide Job Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Smooth sculpted lines, impressive hardware, aggressive stance. It can only mean one thing. 'Tis the season to get out and tailgate. Right now at every Bob Johnson, buy any new or used truck, we'll throw in a Mafia-ready folding table absolutely free. Bob Johnson, this is where the savings are.
Bob Johnson.
Point 17 laps up on the board. Dalton Steele, Johnny Hurst bring us back to green. Top 6 drivers stayed out under the last caution. Two and 3 wide in the mid-pack. Johnny Hurst is the one that got caught sleeping. He falls back to third. He saw he got loose there. May fall back to fourth as Ramsey has a run. Look at his path. Oh, one of the wall big time and through the grass. That's Michael Casey, I believe, the 6th. No. That was Jeff Scott, number 38, so he keeps it going. Now they're wrecking further back. Casey is involved. Same with Justice. Oh, and Justice takes a big hit from Helms. Second yellow is out. A lot of drivers that came in under that first caution are involved, and we'll have to use a quick repair early. And now the question's going to be, that some of them may have forgotten to use that check mark. Some drivers could be done early. So let's show you all the things that happened. We want to show you first Jeff Scott. How he went off the track. Caught the wall all by himself off of turn 4 and goes for a wild ride. And let's show you what happened in turns 1 and 2. I think this started up near the front with Justice and Casey. Ooh, Jolly hooks the 25. And hard the wall he won, just caused a stack up top, leaving a lot of good cars with nowhere to go. That's a tough break there. Watch it every time. Gonna ride around a couple of drivers here with Tom Cisco. Oof! Big hit, rear-ending Greg Jolly. That's good, Casey. Go to Greg Jolly. We have known that he kind of messed up there. Let's go from the rear end of Justice. I would like to watch that perspective. And so much.
Administered a 15-second hold for going 3 wide on lap 18.
So we just got the word from race control. Someone's been given a 15-second hold.
So after review, the 25 came back up onto the racetrack into the 13. The 25 will receive the EOL.
That, by the way, you are hearing is from our race director, our race control. It's the only chatter we will be providing access with too of Matt Benke and race control guys at Vegas Penguin. Helping us out with all that. Justice and Hawkins all on pit road, and as we are under the caution flag, let's talk with, see if we can talk with the driver, the number 45 here in Dalton Steele. Dalton, he's got his soundboard turned on. It's Marty up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, man. Talk me through your strategy. Is with obviously with that second caution? Is it way too early to pit here? Is that what led to you staying out?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early to pit. I'm just trying to stay up here and stay out of trouble because I knew if I pit on that last caution, I was going to get caught up in something with people who have no sense of time and too much urgency, and they're going to cause a wreck right in front of me. So I was trying to save my one fast repair, just stay out, let people pass me, caution come out, then get off schedule with them.
You've come close to taking a win this season. Could tonight be the night?
I hope so. I've been having a stroke of bad luck compared to last season, but hopefully I can break through.
Alrighty, man. Well, we wish you the best of luck here.
Yep, thank you.
That's Dalton Steele in the number 45, as I believe we are moments away from coming back to the green flag. Are the lights off the iRacing pace car? They are. So the front two rows have yet to pit. Dalton Steele, Michael Lawrence, Johnny Hurst, and Chris Ramsey. First driver on fresher tires is the 30 of James Wagner in fifth. Next to him, it's Joseph Causey. Our ticker says number 60. He is actually in car number 8. Row number 4, Jimmy Pilan, and the 96 of Matthew Barker. Rounding out the top 10, Matthew Warren and Dom Salvo. We have 2 number 8s here on Trading Paints. He needs to have number 79 on, and he needs to have number 60 on, and that's gonna be confusion from time to time. There's Dom Salvo there, who rounds out the top 10. Remember, he got in the grass earlier on. He began the race on that 15-lap stint. He's got her back going, and we're set to come back to the restart. Put 23 laps up on the board. Steele fires on the Geico restart zone. Now we're back to green. Second spot. He was one of those drivers that decided not to qualify, and so that put him all the way back in the 22nd position. It's working out well. Can he clear up on Lawrence? He cannot. Lawrence had a nice run off at turn 2, thanks to the banking. Now behind them, Wagner slides up in front of 58 and 29's on the apron. Jimmy Pilan. And I think he was trying to bring it on to pit road to serve a penalty. And he overshot the entry. Tough break there as Ramsey now tries to see if he can pull up with the 48 to go for the race lead. But further back, everybody else single file on back. Here comes Wagner, looks for third on Cheeseburger. And a bump draft from number 60 of Causey, that helps him out. Wagner back on the podium. get a draft off the 4. Here comes Causey low on Lawrence for the 4th spot. See if he can take that away off the corner. Causey actually may take 3rd here. Maybe even take 2nd. He had a beautiful turn number 4. Oh, trouble. 96. Oh, and as well as I believe that's Worrell. 3rd caution of the day is out here at Kansas. Heavy damage on the ace of Barker and the 79 of Worrell. Let's get a look at what happened here. Position off the turn number 4. Ooh, they simply hooked. Oh my goodness! Barker with a huge flip and a heck of a landing. It's a 10 out of 10. We gotta watch that again. Sure, they give us a nice look. That's a double flip 720 or something. See if we have a speed shot that could show us how fast he went off the corner. Let's ride over with a couple people here. Let's begin with Worrell. Looked.
So after review, there will be no penalty given. There is a mile net code.
So you're a neck code deal. Let's try for the rear end of Barker there as well. Heavy impact. There's 1 rotation. All right, so that is... Trying to think what that was. 360, 36 divided by 2 is 18. That was a double flip 540. I believe that's what they call it. I don't know, but you see Worrell, and I would assume that still has a lot of damage. He does not have a quick repair anymore. We did have some takers on pit road. I can tell you this, Rick Baldwin was your winner off pit road, followed by Michael Lawrence, Greg Jolly, Johnny Hurst, and Dalton Steele. Actually, correction, it was Baldwin, then Lawrence, then Jolly. First, Steele and Ramsey decided to hit a lap later when the lap down drivers normally check. So he should be coming to 1 lap to green this time by, and once again, we thank you for joining us here on the Slide Job Racing Network YouTube channel. Let us know who you're rooting for. I'll give you a shout out here on the air. 12 viewers here tonight. See if we get that up to 20 before the night ends. As we are 1 lap to green. All right, field is doubled up as we are set to come back to the green flag. It's our 3rd caution of
That
the
would
day
be
on
an EOL.
lap 30. Joseph Causey, James Wagner, row 1. Dom Salvo, Mark Morton, row
Wait,
2.
which one, Matt? I'm sorry. You
Michael
have two?
Taylor, Michael Casey, row 3. Robert Lynch, Richard Hartman, Jeff Scott, Bradley Worley round out the top 10. So we're set to come
That's
back
gonna
to green and
be,
put 30
I
laps on the
believe, a
board.
drive-through or stop and go.
See Wagner caught sleeping, and the Dom Salvo fan club probably has the most fans of anyone when we're live streaming. Ken tuned in, by the way. Dom makes his way up to second, but he does not have a lot of help. He's able to slide up in front of the 30. Now Wagner may think about the crossover. We get the run up to that quarter panel, we can. And now Mark Morton, who took fuel only on his lap 20 pit stop, is up there. Michael Casey, trouble further back. Chad Hawkins through the grass. Matthew Warrow also through the grass. Nope, actually, he's actually coming on to pit road. Assume maybe County will repair some damage. Wagner up to second. Mark Morton in the third spot. Fresher tires amongst the top 10 currently belongs to number 19 above and on lap 27. He's currently in the 9th spot at the moment. Wagner is all over Causey's back bumper for the race lead. Look at the rear end as well of the 60. That is rear end damage, and that can slow up a car pretty good. Slow him up too much. Well, here comes the 30 underneath for the top spot. Wagner becomes the 5th different leader of the day. Michael Casey is also rebounded after the second caution. He's up there in the 4th position, slides off to 24. And he's got fresher tires than the entire top 3. Causey got a big run off of turn number 2 thanks to Morton, the leader's touch. Everybody hangs on to it for right now. And man, Causey's doing a lot of blocking. Here comes Morton, threading the needle 3 wide for the lead. This is some fantastic stuff. If Morton goes to the point, he'll be our 6th different leader of the day. It's 7 cars all under a blanket for the race lead. Causey back down low, wants to make sure Morton doesn't lead this lap of the line. The 48 out in front. And you see a bad corner from Causey. This could open up the door for Salvo or even Casey. Casey had no momentum whatsoever as you're on board with them. Rudd's coming underneath. That's the 24. Salvo once again. Best race on the track for that 3rd position. Although Angie also tuned in, and Logan Dean, they're definitely rooting for Worley, currently right in P13. Chad Hawkins may have gone off track once again. There's a puff of smoke. Not sure who that came off of. Salvo and Wagner were racing hard for the 4th spot. How about this? 4 of the top 10 drivers are up at least 10 spots. Mark Morton up 10, Joseph Causey up 18, Salvo up 12, and Michael Taylor in the highest spot he's been in this race so far in 6th. He's up 15. Another run for Causey. Causey and, is that Matthew Warren? I believe that is. Now, keep in mind, he merged back with the leaders exiting pit road, and he's 4 laps down. So he may want to just let the leaders go here. He would not be the free pass at the moment. Currently, the free pass would go to Chris Justice, who is 1 lap down. Take a lot of cautions for Worrell to get back into this race. So Casey is the 3rd place car, Salvo 4th. Wagner currently rounds out the top 5. Let's go to some other racing on the track here. It's Michael Lawrence over Richard Hartman in the 52. That's the race for 10th. Haven't talked about Hartman yet in this one. Been right mid-pack a lot, starting 9th, currently in the 10th spot. And Lawrence able to take away P10 from the 52. Also have Dalton Steele trying to recover after pitting moments ago on lap 28. This race is Lynch Jr. for 7th. Good corner by the number 45. So he has the freshest tires of the bunch right now, but will they kick in, especially if we have a long run? You should keep this in mind. The fuel window is open. If anyone takes fuel right now, they can make it a distance, as you saw Brianna Lauren, who just went her lap down. Get the wall not once but twice, and she is hanging on to that car for dear life. Not what Chris Justice really wants to go through unless the 25 passes her now. Be about a lap or 2. That could have slowed up a lot of drivers, as here's a run by Causey again for the lead. In the wall hard, that was the 21 of Lynch Jr., I believe. No, that was Taylor, who went through the grass, hangs onto it, but loses 6 to Dalton Steele. No right side damage on the 35 of Taylor. A nice catch to make that save. Morton still out in front. Causey looking for the race lead. And he just passed by Worley, who is, again, keep in mind, not running in, Worrell, who's running in 23rd position now. If he gets one of his laps back, that'll put him 3 laps down. And obviously, as we know, he does have the fresher tires. If I'm Morton at just at this point, find a way to let him by without losing the throttle. And so, Worrell will now be 3 laps down because of this. Always, as we know, always risky to race the leaders. Here's the battle for 3rd. Salvo wants to fight back and get back on the podium. High side without scraping the safety barrier, makes his way up. Here comes Causey again for the top spot. And he's up there with the 48. Top speed about 175 miles an hour into the corner. He looks for around the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Pulls up to the door with a 48-year races for the lead. Causey takes the Rockstar Energy drink right out into the front. And a returning leader on lap number 46. Now it's up to Morton to try and possibly fight back, but he's in the wall hard. Caught it really good, and now he tries to hang on. Now he's got to get back into it. Just hope that he doesn't lose a ton of momentum to the 24 of Salvo as he right on board with them. He lost a lot of time. He's a half second behind Causey. Tell you as well, Dalton Steele is starting to close the gap, and same with Michael Lawrence. Both trying to close the gap here on the leaders. Why don't we compare the last 5 laps? Dalton Steele, you see the last 4 laps, he has been the much better car than James Wagner. Time to pit was a really good time. Michael Casey and Dom Salvo for 3rd again. From the left door of Salvo, we'll see if Casey may go for something in the turn number 3. As to stay tucked behind for number 24. Now he could get something off of 4. Nice run off the corner. There is a little bump draft. And Salvo caught the wall. Casey checks up. Casey could take away the 3rd spot. Man, how Salvo was able to scrape the wall and hang on to 3rd, I don't know. But we are at the halfway point. We do have a race for 3rd and a race for the lead. Causey able to extend the gap that time to 3.5 tenths of a second. Casey moves to 3rd, slides up in front of Salvo, makes the pass step. That was a great run from the number 6. And now here comes Wagner for 4th. So there you see the gap between Causey and Morton, about 2 to 3 car lengths. As we are at the halfway point. Causey, let's remember, started all the way back in at the 20th spot. Decided to stay out after the last caution. John in front of lap number 15. His projected pit stop would be with about 20 laps to go. Here comes Morton underneath. There is some lap traffic. Leaders are approaching. It's not Bradley Worley, but it's the 84 Chet Hawkins, who, let's remember, after the last restart, went through the grass and did some lawn mowing. Now he's back in 20th, 3 laps down. Shifting up to 4th, Dalton Steele, James Wagner, and Michael Lawrence. And Steele has made his way up to 5th. We told you he was a lot better than the leaders. So we're looking at lap number 53. Joseph Causey's your race leader. I'm going to take a moment to talk. I'm going to let you guys listen to the audio. Crank it up here at Kansas Speedway. Tell you what, we were watching that battle really good for that 4th spot. Dalton Steele has made his way up to the 4th position. Those tires are coming in handy after his pit stop on lap 28. Speaking of the drivers that also pitted on 27, 28. Lawrence is 7th, Baldwin 8th, Hurst 9th, and the other drivers that we know of at the moment. But it is still, as Wagner looks underneath on Salvo for 5th, it is still Joseph Causey, your leader, by 4/10 of a second on Mark Morton. Michael Casey third. Dalton Steele fourth. Dom Salvo in the fifth spot. Trouble Lynch Jr. goes off track. And he hangs back onto it. And now that puts him all the way back down to the 10th spot. He's on track for just about a second. So let's give you an iRace rundown here. With about 40 laps to go. Causey has flagged, I believe, the most laps of this race here so far today. Mark Morton currently runs in second. These two have been in a great battle for the lead in the past 15 and 20 laps or so. Michael Casey running third. He's also, I believe, has led at points in the race. Dalton Steele fourth on a different strategy through to the top three with pressure tires. Dom Salvo rounds out the top five in fifth. James Wagner currently scored in sixth. Michael Lawrence runs in the seventh position. Johnny Hurst is eighth. Rick Baldwin is ninth, and Robert Lynch Jr. rounds out the top 10. Chris Ramsey scored in 11th. Richard Hartman the third, 12th. Michael Taylor battling with him for that 12th spot in 13th. Jeff Scott is 14th. Greg Jolly is 15th. Bradley Worley is 16th, and the last car on the lead lap. Chris Justice, first driver, a lap down in 17th. Jimmy Kylan runs in 18th position. Matthew Worrell is 19th. Chad Hawkins in the 21st position. Brianna Lawrence has taken her number 7 behind the wall in 20th. Paul Helms in 22nd, and he also brings his car back on the pit road. Two drivers officially out of the race. That's Matthew Barker and Tom Sisko. Again, under 40 laps in this race, a half-second lead for Causey over Morton. Let's go to that Hartman-Taylor battle, your best race on the track. This is for 12. See, Taylor's getting that right. Remember, trying to recover after he nearly spun it earlier on. Taylor make his way up into the 12th position. Morton starting to close in on Causey. If you're the number 48 at the moment, right now your game plan is to just try and follow the line that the number 60 is running, just use a different line. A lot of time gained up from Causey. These laps back and forth, I feel like to me it's been consistent. Let's take a look at the last 10 laps. You can see that gap has stayed just a little bit constant, ranging from 4/10 to 5/10. A couple laps ago, it was down to 2/10 at one point for the lead. While we are at it, before we go green, we're going to keep it right here with you. But another word, as always, from our official sponsor of SVT Gen 6 Racing in Protexol.
Enterprises, just like race teams, know when something is broken. They simply cannot meet their expectations. They've tried countless things, and though they sometimes yield small improvements, they eventually fail. Now what? Protexol has spent 35 years building a superior enterprise performance solution. COPS, Continuous Operational Process Synergy. COPS is the #1 strategy for client-owned, top-to-bottom, front-to-back enterprises and race teams to achieve exponential performance. Organizations, like race teams, use COPS as the backbone to win. Everything from car design, engines, pit stops, races, and championships to market segment dominance. COPS equals winning? Yes, it really is that simple. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a leader or a follower? If your answer is a leader, then there is only one choice. Cops from Protexall. Visit protexall.com to learn more.
I would say about 12, 13 laps away from seeing possibly green flag pit stops here. Again, everyone has one stop left to make. Go the distance. The key driver we're watching very closely out, as we got one in actually, as I say that, it's Michael Lawrence. The key driver we're watching very closely is the number 45, Dalton Steele, who's on a different strategy, who pitted on lap number 28. And from the way he's been moving his way up through the field, I don't think saving fuel is on his mind. If you add 65 to that, we'll be a couple laps short, about 7 laps shy. So we'll have to make one more stop. But could he find his way out in front of the leaders if he takes less fuel than everybody else? We'll just have to see. Here's the race for fifth. Salvo and Wagner have been going at it with each other for about 15 or 20 laps now. Wagner just not able to find anything. Bradley Worley's gone off track in turn 4. I believe he's bringing his number 88 on the pit road, and he is. Let's go back to something with the top 2. We got to keep in mind this story we talked about at the top of the show. We talked about it on the show, and that is that we have had 3 different winners to start the year. In Johnny Hurst, Michael Casey, and Jeffrey Ledford. Mark Morton has just brought the 48 on to pit road, so we're going to watch his stop. Morton's one of those drivers. Causey's one of those drivers. Steele's one of those drivers. Even Salvo and Wagner could make it 4 for 4s. We'll bring up the track map and show you where your favorite driver is on the track, and more drivers are in. Lynch Jr. is in. Taylor is also in. Let's get you a good look at the number 48 pit stop. Causey and Casey now on pit road. So here comes the leader, and that puts Dalton Steele back out to the front of the field. Now let's see what the drivers here are taking. Morton did 4 tires. Let's see what Causey does. He's on the right side. Now puts it on the left side. And so the merge points will be very interesting to see. And now Dalton Steele brings the 45 onto pit road. We'll show you Steele's stop in just a moment, but let's see where him and Morton end up merging. Morton just came across the start-finish line a couple moments ago. Dalton Steele, though, making his way onto pit road as we speak. And Causey's out in front by about 3 seconds. That's going to climb down, though, a lot. And so here's Steele with pit stall number 3. And I believe he did 4 tires as well, if not maybe 2. I want to say that was a 4-tire stop. And that should likely put him down into the 3rd, maybe 4th position. James Wagner, Johnny Hurst, Chris Ramsey, and Greg Jolly, the 4 drivers that have yet to pit. Same with Chris Justice. That's technically 5 drivers that have yet to come in, and now Wagner decides it's his time. So while we wait for him to come into his box, we should tell you this too, that Morton is behind Causey by 2.5 seconds. So that made a big difference. Came to pitting. Here comes Wagner in. A lot of these pit stops, a lot of drivers doing 4-tire stops. No one really putting 2 tires on. They're definitely putting in the fuel tank for sure. We see Johnny Hurst bring the 58 on to pit road. Chris Ramsey is also in. 29 is in as well of Pilot. So this will give Causey the lead back. And a bad entry for Hurst. Had to back it up. So he is back onto the racetrack. And so that cycles things back over. Joseph Causey in front by 2.4 seconds on Mark Morton. Michael Casey is third. Dalton Steele fourth. And Greg Jolly rounds up the top five, but Jolly still is yet to come in. So as we look at the pit times here, let's show you pit times amongst the top 10. Pull those up for you folks at home. Best time we have on pit road ever, 13:27. That was set by Dalton Steele in the 45. So great stop by him. And then as you look at for pit lane time, we should actually pull these up here for you. That's the pit stop time. As for the pit lane time, that was Steele once again that swept the board. Dalton Steele with a 43.85. So Steele is the big winner as he's sideways off it too. As I say that, he catches it. He's got a lot of lap traffic to go through. We should look at something as well with Michael Lawrence. We got a report a minute ago that he may have crashed possibly. Either that or he was blinking. Let's see what this replay can show us. Yep, that was a blank. Just like we thought it was going to be. James Wagner low on Chris Justice for 8th, and Justice is yet to pit. He's hoping to get back on the lead lap right now, hoping for a yellow flag to come out. That's the strategy he's playing right now. Greg Jolly, I believe, playing that exact same strategy too in car number 13. Casey and Steele are in a small race for the third position. This opportunity to tell you that next week, next week the SVT Gen 6 Renegade Series, we're at Watkins Glen International, my home track. 40-lap showdown start time at 7 p.m. on Slide Job Racing Network. We should keep in mind of this as well. We do have a stage break taking place that night. I believe the only stage break we have this season. That's a competition caution set for lap number 20. Also on Slide Job Racing Network tomorrow night, we have the season finale for Coast to Coast Racing League Monday Night Madness at the Knoxville Raceway. Join us at 7:45 p.m. on Slide Job Racing Network. Chris Ramsey, who we have on our end, is yet to pit on lap 28. He's passing Joseph Causey. I believe that is. Look at all the lap traffic that Causey has to go through. As Jolly's on the pit. We had Jeff Scott just go off the track a couple moments ago. He's got that back going on the asphalt of Kansas Speedway, and he is back in 17th spot. Scott was able to hold on to it and catch it. But it's still Joseph Causey out in front. It's been the class of the field on this long run, longest run we've had in this race. Kept that gap constant ever since he rejoined the racetrack, 2.3 seconds on Mark Morin. If that gap were to stay, it would be the biggest margin of victory this season. Obviously, you go back to Daytona. That's always known for close finishes. Dover, we had the exciting finish between Michael Casey as well as Michael Casey, Dalton Steele, Mark Morgan. And then you go to Auto Club last week, Jeffrey Ledford with the win over a bunch of good drivers. A surprise win out of nowhere. Causey looking to go 4 for 4 tonight. Free pass driver for yellow flag 4 to fly right now. It's Richard Hartman III. He's in the 10th position. Robert Lynch Jr., though, is currently the last car on the lead lap and I believe 3/4 of a track behind Causey as we speak. Rick Baldwin, we haven't talked about him in a while. Starting to close in on Dom Salvo. Last time by for Salvo ran a 31.78. Believe he had caught the wall at one point. Baldwin's looking for a run. Now, he's been having some aero issues. You look closely on that left front. That hood is buckled up just a bit. Still in 6th, looking to break into the top 5. He hasn't led any laps today. Highest finish he's had, highest he's been running is 2nd. See a horrible corner from Salvo. Baldwin looking to take it to his advantage, but he is getting blocked big time. And also has Morrow to deal with too. Here comes Baldwin downstairs.
Stop and hit a button. I'm sorry.
Baldwin tucks it back in line for now. Is again. High side has been the dominant place to be at Kansas Speedway this afternoon. Or this evening, I should say. Now they both close. Actually, rather James Wagner closes in on both of them. So this is a 3-car race for the 5th position. Wagner hit with the draft off to 24. May have a run on Baldwin. Doesn't seem to work here, though. Wagner able to take 6th at the line over the 19. Wagner did pit a couple laps later than Salvo and Baldwin. He was on lap 75. Salvo and Baldwin were both on lap 72. Was trying to play some strategy, but didn't go the way he wanted it to. Oh, Salvo loose, catches it once and twice. Was dirt tracking that baby in turn 4 like it was a late model. We have 9 to go here. Mark Morton has lost a lot of time as well to Michael Casey. I think his car may be starting to give out. May have caught the wall, I don't know. Michael Casey has moved up into the 2nd position with 8 laps to go, and the gap is increased from Michael Casey to 4.7 seconds, where all that the number 60 wants is for no yellow silk to fly. He wants a white furlong to come out. 1 lap to go. Let's go back to the race for 5th as Wagner and Salvo again lose. Oh, and the wall hard catches Baldwin. Both of them keep it straight. No caution, obviously, as both kept it straight. Johnny Hurst moves in the 7th position with 7 laps remaining. That could have been a code ground moment for the leader. Also have a lot of other good racing happening on the track. We have a battle happening back here. This is the closest battle we have. This is a race 14 between Chris Ramsey and Jimmy Pilot. Ramsey ran to front to begin the long run we had, but ever since then, cars are fading and fading and fading. We have 5 laps to go. Also have a race happening for 7th, Johnny Hers. Oh, check that, Robert Lynch Jr. just took away 8th from Salvo. Look at the right front fender on the 24. How loose that car got, as well as the rear end for the Baldwin contact. So there is significant damage on the 24, and he just lost a lot of time. Don't think Richard Harmon III will get him, who's 21 seconds back. Yeah, 4 miles remaining. 4 laps remaining. Coming to 2 to go, this time by for Joseph Causey. Next time by, I should say. Again, just has been dominant on this long run. Morton gave him a run for his money about halfway through before pit stops. Causey's been able to drive away from it. Look at that. All by himself. Doesn't even see the enemy behind him in his rear view mirror. Oh, I just heard somebody hit the wall once again. I'm not sure who that may have been. Everything stays clear, cut and dry for now as you're on board with them. White flag is out, 1 lap to go for Michael Causey. The iRacing number says 8, but his straight paint scheme says 8, but his iRacing number is number 60. He's in the Rockstar Energy Drink, US Harmony, the U number 8. Last week we saw a driver win in his debut. I think this week we're going to see it once again. Dominant on the long run all evening long, off of turn number 4. Joseph Causey, the 4th different winner of the season in 4 races. He wins at Kansas. Michael Casey 2nd, Mark Morton 3rd, Dalton Steele finishes 4th, James Wagner rounds out the top 5, but congratulations to the Chevy of Causey. So we get to see Causey light up some smoke. We will try and get your top 3 in just a moment. Not bad of a way to win in your debut. And let's pop up the results here for you. Causey the winner by 4.6 seconds on Michael Casey. 3rd, Mark Morton. 4th, Dalton Steele. 5th, James Wagner. 6th, Rick Baldwin. 7th went to Johnny Hurst. 8th, Robert Lynch Jr. 9th, Dom Salvo. And 10th, Richard Hartman III. Okay, while we were waiting for Joseph Causey, we're going to bring in our top 3 performers here. We're going to begin with Mark Morton here in the 48. Mark,
It's just shit.
Mark, oh, apologies for the language there.
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
sorry to cut you off there late in the going. But to begin things off, what happened with your car late in the running?
I was running. Running right there with Joseph, and I think here and there I would catch the wall, and I think just a little, only 17 seconds worth of damage. But towards the end, I was ready for these green flag pit stops because I was gonna try and cut Joseph short and force him down. And normally, when in real life, if the first car who normally pits, everybody else comes in, and you normally kind of get a good jump ahead. But somehow he got 2 seconds ahead of me, and he was gone. And then I was catching him because I was in getting some traffic dropped from the traffic. But once they got in front of him, he checked out, and it was lights out for him. So I think maybe that damage got me.
Other than that, what other positives do you take away from this one?
One more time. I'm sorry. There's a lot of chat going on right now.
What other positives do you take away from tonight?
Well, we not to knock anybody, but we definitely had. I think we had 4 cautions, which much is we're good up there, and now you can really see who who has long run speed, who kind of burns it out, and who's kind of in the middle. It's definitely going to be one heck of a great season with a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of front runners week in and week out, ready for Watkins next week.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
You, of course, were putting on a phenomenal job on broadcasting. Penguin, and I think Matt was the other guy, race control. Definitely Joseph for doing a heck of for winning the race. Mike, always good. And then literally everybody in this phenomenal racing server. Everybody is great, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And of course, my fiance, I got engaged over the holidays, so
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
yeah, I know. I'm signing my life away.
Well, great job tonight. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it, bud. Thank you. Have a good night.
Absolutely. All right, that's our 3rd place finisher, and Mark Morton. Let's go to 2nd place, and Mike Casey. Mike, positives you take away from this evening?
Oh man, what another tough and crazy race for me. We got into some trouble at the beginning, had to burn our one and only fast repair. It was another crazy race here at Kansas. Good racing once everybody got separated. Yeah, it was stressful, another stressful race, but very happy to be taking a podium finish here.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run tonight?
Hey, shout out to you in the broadcast. Shout out to all the sponsors in the SVT Renegade series. Appreciate everybody sponsoring and taking care of this league. Shout out to my Twitch followers. Thank you guys for coming over and hanging out tonight and watching me stream over on Twitch. And yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight.
All righty, well done tonight. We'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate it.
That's our 2nd place finisher in Mike Casey. And 2-hour winner we go in Victory Lane to talk with your winner and Joseph Causey. Joseph, how does this feel?
Pretty good, man. It was a pretty good race. I enjoyed it very much. Started in the back. I didn't want to get into anybody's way because my first start here. I didn't know how everybody drove or anything, so I took my time, drove to the field, and we were able to come out P1 at the end of it.
How was your car on this long run tonight?
Oh, awesome. Lights out. Freaking, I drove the bottom as much as I could until, most of the people, started dying out in the bottom. You've seen a lot of people getting loose. I was getting a little bit loose. And then I would drive up to the top, and then if you know how to drive the top and you know how to make hay up there, that's where your domain is, up at the top at Kansas. So we got to the top, and I was able to hold up the 48 for the longest. He was getting that aero sadness behind me, and I seen him clip the wall a couple times, but we were able to. I don't know if he had newer tires during that run, that stint or not. He may have. I'm not too sure, But when I got past them and got in that clean air, I was just make sure I maintained the gap for that. And then when we took that pit stop, and then I seen them tracking me back down after I was running the low lane, I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and hit the top. And we hit the top, and we just ran away.
Well, next week we go to Watkins Glen. How's your outlook look going on in?
I'm a pretty good road racer. I ain't gonna lie. I'm decent. I'm very decent.
Alrighty. Who do you want to give shout outs to tonight?
Hey, shout out to the league, man. Freaking, I thought it was a pretty good race. I just came off of a different Gen 6 league, and I think this was run pretty damn well compared to the one I was just in. So, shout out to the league, man. And everybody who's running it.
All right, can you promise me 2 things with this win for next week?
How about that? What's that?
Number 1, make sure your Trading Paints number is the same as your iRacing number, because I can get confused on that. And number two,
Okay.
you make sure your Discord name is your actual names, because I'll get confused on that too.
Okay, I think my name's kind of close, but if I need to change it, I'll change it. But
Yeah,
I tried to get my number set to 8, but nobody got back to me about that, so I don't know. I guess I'll be 60.
Gotcha. Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Congratulations. Enjoy this victory.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's Joseph Causey, your winner in Victory Lane this evening at the Kansas Speedway. And we'll see if we have our points updated for you here. Do we have them? We do not. Hang on, give us one moment here. I think we can get them updated here any moment. But anyway, like I said, next week, this series heads to Watkins Glen International for, again, that should be a fun race. You will not want to miss out on that for sure. And as always, start time is 7:45 p.m. You can watch it right here. 7 p.m. You can watch it right here on You can watch it right here on Sly Job Racing Network. And let's see if we have something here for you. I believe we do. And so with that being said, let's see the points here coming on after this weekend. And this is without the drops updated. You can see there Michael Casey with the advantage at the moment by 9 points on Johnny Hurst. So a consistent start for Michael Casey this season will definitely help him out throughout the year. So, alrighty, with that being said, we're going to sign off here for tonight. On behalf of everyone here at SVT Racing League, all the fine drivers, sponsors, and admins, Marcus Callis saying so long for tonight. Congratulations to Joseph Causey, a first-time winner at Kansas Speedway. So long, everyone.